in talking about vintage amps is playing with vintage amps. Today we're going to do both. I've been getting a lot of emails at the altar and people say, "Hey Phoenix, what's the best small little practice amp a guy can buy for himself? Something he can carry around in one hand, his guitar in the other." Today we're going to address the issue from both sides of the spectrum. We're going to look at amps for people who can't afford something very expensive. Where a guy can afford whatever he wants. Let's have a look at what we got here. Now, for those of you who can afford it, this is, in my humble opinion, the best small practice amp ever made. The Gretsch Model 6152 Compact Tremolo Reverb Amplifier. It's a Valco made amplifier. This has simple control panel, volume, tone, tremolo, and reverberation controls. Has a reverse switch, and the trim and reverb are foot switchable, of course. Now, as you can see, we have all the goodies here. This is bristling with Mallory caps. It has a 6V6 GT power tube, 5Y3 rectifier tube, and 412AX7s in the preamp stages. Here's your reverb pan. It's isolated away from the transformer as far as possible on the bottom in this little box. You got your Jensen speaker, 8-inch. You won't believe the sound that comes out of this 8-inch Jensen. Jensens are by far, in my opinion, the best speaker ever made. Sometimes this model earlier in the 60s will have an 11x6 elliptical speaker, and then around 65, 66 they put in this 8-inch Jensen, and then later on they might have gone to a 10 or a 12 and even a bigger cabinet, so they're not so compact. This is the best version in my opinion. Now this is a single-ended amp, which means it has one power tube, Class A design. Most of your amps that you've probably played through are Class AB, they're push-pull. This means that this amp is only 5 watts, but the great thing about this, it's a loud 5 watts. The more you turn it up, the more great, warm, distorted sound you're going to get. This is a Valco-made amp. Even though the Gretsch name is on there, Valco might be a name that some of you people haven't heard, because there's not a lot of amps out there with the name Valco on them. Valco was a big player back in the day. They made amps for a lot of the big boys. They made them for Gretsch. They made them for National. They made their own line, which they called Supro. They made them for Airline, just to name a few. So you can actually find this model also made for National, Airline, Supro, which is different cosmetics, but it'll be the same amp. The Gretsch version, I have found, is a little less expensive, as the Nationals and the Supros are highly sought in the collectible market. So you can still find a pretty good deal on the Gretsch version. Now I paid $400 for this one, which I admit is a steal considering the condition. In actuality, if you're looking on eBay, these are going to start at about $600 to $650, maybe not in this good of condition, and go up as high as $800 depending on condition. This is the Roland Microcube. Now, I hate modeling amps and modeling effects. Having said that, Roland comes out with this and makes a liar out of me. This actually has a couple of very, very good modeled amp sounds. Up a little higher. Okay, let's put a little distortion through this, see how it rocks for us. That's it for today. Be sure to come visit us at ultravamps.com. For those of you interested in our charitable work, visit Vinny at ourmissionpossible.com. And yes, my new book is about to be published, Requiem for a Midlife Crisis. You can always find out about that on MySpace. Until next time, this is Phoenix saying, play hard, play naked.